This past week, this topic had me so heated that I actually made a video, edited it, made another video, and didn't put it out because I wanted to wait to come to the show to really talk about it. Shedeur Sanders, he was drafted. This is Deion Sanders' son and Pilar Sanders' son. Anyway, he was drafted, and this weekend, I sat and watched all the foolery go on with the NFL draft. I don't even watch the NFL draft. I don't watch the NBA draft. Maybe I should start watching to see what team I'm going to support based on how cute the drafts are. But then again, no, I'm not really interested in drafts because they're too young anyway, and all of them come in, get all the money, squander it, and they end up on AA. Well, I don't think that's going to happen to Shedeur, but I was watching this in particular because it caught my attention when the world was saying that he should have been in the top 5 of the draft and was passed in the first round. That was how I first knew that this was becoming an issue, and I started dialing in just to pay attention to what was happening. Well, Deion Sanders, if you don't know who he is, he's an NFL legend. He's now a coach at a university, and he was married to Tracy. No, that's Tracy Evans' babyface wife. He was married to. Oh, he was dating. Yeah, he was dating Tracy Edmonds, who was Babyface's ex-wife. I know I ain't.
Yeah, they were just not married.
Well, after I became the vice mayor, I'm so caught up in Stockton, I don't know what's going on in pop culture anymore. I knew something.
Okay, you were right.
Deion Sanders, who was dating Babyface's ex-wife, Tracy Edmonds, who she ended up leaving because there was some going on. I don't even know the drama, but anyway. His son was up. Both of his sons were up for the NFL draft. Now, Shedeur Sanders got the internet rallying for him after being pushed to the 5th round in the 2025 NFL draft. Now, leading up to the draft, everyone just knew that he was going to be in the first round, like I said, right? But when that didn't happen, he just gave it to God. Here he is after the first round. Take a look.
We all didn't expect this, of course, but I feel like with God, anything possible, everything possible. I don't feel like this happened, for no reason. All this is of course, fuel to the fire. And under no circumstance, we all know this shouldn't have happened. But we understand we're on the bigger and better things. Tomorrow's the day. We're going to be happy regardless. Legendary.
Ooh. Well, I remember seeing him in that video and going, why you got that big ass chain on, right? Because I didn't know much about him, but I knew the chain for some people represents, he's a rapper, kind of like the hip hopper, because they put labels on us based on how we look and how we dress. And I thought, his dad used to be cocky, which confidence is not a bad thing. His dad is an icon. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, oh, this is a lesson. This is what I thought. Just look, I go, this is a lesson. I started looking on Facebook and people started chattering. Oh, he's cocky, da-da-da. So then I started consuming it all. Well, after the second round pass, Shedeur tweeted, "Thank you, God, for everything." As the rounds came and went, various sport commentators began to blame Deion, his dad, for having too tight of a hold on his son, whom he not only represented, but coached at the University of Colorado. But here's the deal. I also know people don't really or didn't really historically like Deion Sanders because he was cocky, arrogant, all those things. But when the talent matches, it's just confidence for me. It's one thing if you're Tinashe acting like you're Beyonce. Now, she's talented.
Not the stray.
No, it's not a stray. I'm painting a picture. Okay? Oh. Because when you are great, you're great. However, just like this show, sometimes the main star can cause a polarizing effect to everybody around them. Because of proximity, people will associate and say, he over there with them, or he's over there with his dad, or maybe his dad was too vocal or too involved. Sometimes you have those stage parents who want to be all up in your business. That is not what I saw happening here, though. Now, people said that, Deion coddled Shedeur too much. But others said that Deion is his father and doing exactly what a father's supposed to do. And some of y'all didn't have no fathers. Some of y'all ain't seen us with a father. So you don't know what being with a father looks like. When your father steps in, that's what it looks like. If you didn't create so many prisons to put our black fathers in, you'd have more to compare to. My father wasn't in prison. He was with his wife. But that's not the point. He did what he was supposed to do, to guide, prepare his son up until the draft, then let him go. Even the president. Listen, now, Rob, I don't agree with Agent Orange on many things. But the president got up off his BBL-infested ass and he said something about this topic. Take a look. He said, what is wrong with the NFL owners? Are they stupid? Deion Sanders was a great college football player and was an even greater in the NFL. He's also a very good coach, streetwise and smart. Therefore, Shedeur, his quarterback son, has phenomenal genes and is all set for greatness. He should be picked immediately by a team that wants him to win. Good luck, Shedeur, and say hello to your wonderful father. Trump, don't say pick, because when you said that, I heard cotton.
And phenomenal genes.
And masters. Listen, you can decode that in the car.
Because this is sounding real slave picking to me. That one's got phenomenal genes.
You know what?
That's the strong slave right there. Put that boy out in the field, right?
That's what it sounded like to me.
I'm not commenting.
Good. It's about time that you stay out of race conversation.
Not the long applause.
Because often, you hear.
Bitch, you.
Well, meanwhile, Stephen A. Smith accused 32 NFL team owners of collusion while comparing Shedeur's situation to Colin Kaepernick's. Take a listen.
And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to say that while in the same breath conceding and acknowledging that Shedeur Sanders is not blameless here. Primetime Deion Sanders is not blameless here. I'm going to say what I have to say, knowing that both of them have their hands at least a little bit dirty in all of this. But if you're the National Football League, okay, clearly it's not about talent anymore. It's about something else. And I'm going to tell you, I spent a large amount of the last 24 hours thinking about nothing more than I was thinking about collusion. Because how in the hell does 32 teams in the National Football League pass on a quarterback that was universally recognized one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the country entering this draft, and 32 teams passed on him? Not once, not twice, not 3 times, but 4 different times they passed on him. How the hell does that happen? 4 rounds. It doesn't happen to a quarterback. We've never seen anything like this before. We've seen guys drop because of injuries. We've seen guys drop because of off-field issues, but we've never seen a quarterback projected to be a top 20 pick, universally recognized one of the top 3 quarterbacks in the draft, projected to be a first rounder, in all likelihood a safe bet of a late first rounder, and drop literally to the 5th round. We haven't seen anything like that. And when you're talking about the owners, I'm going to keep in mind, and I tweeted about this, seems very Kaepernick-like, as in Colin Kaepernick. This is where Deion Sanders' hands get a little bit dirty. Because he let you know that he believed in his son. Because he let you know what his son could do. Because he let you know that he damn sure was going to keep an eye on things and he was going to have a voice in the proceedings. Because he alluded to, if I don't like where my son is, that's not where we're going and stuff like that. It's entirely plausible that the owners were like, who the hell do you think he is? You don't run this shop, we do. Because these owners are like that. But ultimately, we got to get to Shedeur Sanders himself. Because I spoke to some executives, giving me some background, because they didn't like some of the things that they were seeing. They said stuff like him sending out tweets.
Now, here's... I'm agreeing with Stephen A. Smith. I text Stephen A. the other day. He didn't text me back because, I'm going to ask him to come on my show and talk about Shay Shay. Well, either way, I agree with him because the way that they did Colin Kaepernick to me, looked like buck breaking. And I kept saying it to my friends, I think that's what buck breaking looks like. I asked our resident researcher, who happens to be of their culture, to read the definition of buck breaking.
Noun, an offensive word. The act of publicly punishing a male slave, typically by flogging him and in some cases sexually assaulting or raping him.
Now, they didn't physically sexually assault or rape him, but they were trying to take away his opportunity. and the way that they were doing it in front of the world to watch actually created so much momentum behind him that all I saw on Facebook and all I saw on Instagram and Twitter was Shedeur, Shedeur, Shedeur. And it actually, what was designed to destroy him actually worked. So I don't know if Shedeur or Deion plotted that out, but y'all did a phenomenal job because you even got my attention. Do you feel like Stephen A. is right? Do you feel like this is like what happened with Colin? Like there's a comparison?
Yeah, absolutely. I similar to you, I don't normally agree with anything he says because it's usually a little bit off to me. But in this instance, I agree. I think it very much is them trying to like say, like, know your place before you get here. Know your place. And I think, didn't they do something similar to like Aaron Hernandez? Like they've done this before to athletes. Like,
and I feel like the Nepo
picks.
baby of it all, like they're like, oh, you think just because your dad is, that's what they saying, you know, you think just because your dad is famous, you're going to get picked? No. Because I looked up, Deion Sanders got picked in the first round of the draft back in the day. But I agree with you because I don't stay in football news. I didn't even know Deion Sanders had a son. So now I feel like it just gave him public press. And like he dealt with it very professional, very positive.
Really quick, Google what NFL player greats were picked not in the first round.
Okay. Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Brett Favre, Johnny Unitas. I don't know these people. Frank Tanker.
These are all of some of the best. We're going to stop the list.
Terrell Owens, friend of the show.
Some of the who also played with Deion. Some of the best players in the NFL were passed up like that. So the thing is that what was designed to break his confidence, to set an example to everybody else in the world of sports or just in the world in general, that if you have this kind of confidence, if you come from a good family that gives you the confidence you need to succeed, if you work hard and with that confidence become the best, we'll still teach you that we can. Hold on, little boy. And that's why I've been telling people in Stockton, y'all gonna stop little boy me, because this is the thing that happens. Even though they didn't say little boy, they said it in the way they treated him. Now, eventually, Shedeur was drafted by the Cleveland Browns in the 5th round as the overall 144th pick. 144th pick. Now, he also made history as the first 5th round pick to have the #1 selling jersey among the NFL. I'm gonna give him a round of applause for that. Among the NFL rookie draft class. Now, here's his reaction to finally being drafted.
I'm so excited I heard this.
You heard that sound, my boy.
I'm so excited I heard this.
You heard that sound, my boy.
Hey, thank you everybody. Came support. Thank you everybody out there, all the fans. Hey, it's not time for a song, bro. No, I'm not announcing. Thank you for the fans. Thank you for everybody. Thank you for the Browns organization for giving me a chance. That's all I need.
That looked like his beautiful mother, Pilar, standing there, but that was also Shedeur's brother, Shilo Sanders, who was also standing next to him. He's also heading to the NFL. I'll give him a round of applause as well. Now, although he wasn't picked in the draft, he was assigned by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as an undrafted free agent. I mean, isn't it great that he at least got the opportunity, and even in spite of all the drama, that, you know, he was able to come out on the other side?
And I love how he's like almost more excited than his brother in the video for him. Like, it's just, that video makes me so happy.
Yeah, he's
so
just gonna. I'm sure he's gonna like fight harder to make a name for himself. So good for him.
Have you ever had a situation where somebody's treated you? This question's for Rob. Who treated you or had to prove to you that you weren't worthy because of? I'll just say of. We know what that means. Like, do you feel like the way they treated him, they treated that man, would they have done that to him if he was white?
I don't think they would have done it to this level if he was white. But I think, like she said, it's happened to like other people too. But I don't think it would have happened at this level for sure. I definitely think this was a like, know your place, boy, before you get in here, for sure.
Have you ever had that happen to you?
Yeah, I think in a way, yes. I ran a company before where, of course, I don't think a lot of people, some of the people there valued me because they thought that I couldn't perform because of my race, and I ended up being the best person for the position that was ever there in that space. And in particular, one of the people who kind of was doing that was black, but he's like a self-hating Trumper too. So, but yeah, I've definitely experienced something like that in the workplace before.
Well, I will tell you, you know, being the vice mayor now of Stockton, I've had my experiences where I've had to tell people, and I said it jokingly a minute ago, I'll say it right now, you know, little boy in me. And you know, it's interesting to watch people's reaction, physical reaction, emotional reaction to being called out on it. And some people aren't even, they lack self-awareness and don't even know they're doing it. But when you do certain things, or you behave a certain way, or you move the goalposts, or there's an uneven handled expectation of kind of how people should be performing, or an expectation of how you should, you know, shrink to fit certain rooms, those little boings happen all the time in our culture. We see it, and I'm sensitive to it. Although it hasn't really happened to me that much, and it hasn't happened in a long time because of owning your own company. It's different, you know. I think wanting to go to award shows, like, little boy, you ain't got no, you don't even, how dare you even ask to go? Well, you go create your own award show. Be careful when you do that to certain people, because I'm gonna tell you what's gonna happen with this boy. Mark my words, okay? And I know Marina's gonna remind me like the Beyonce tickets.
And well.
By the way, after I buy them for you, I'm not buying for anybody else, because some people that you buy tickets for are ungrateful.
I was afraid you were gonna make that reference.
He's gonna go on to be great. He's gonna go on to be great. We're gonna be watching the Browns now. He's created more energy around this team that we haven't talked about in a long time, and he's gonna be a star like his father. Or he's going to be a complete failure, and it's going to be I told you so from everybody that passed him up, which I don't think is going to happen. I think he's going to go on to be a star, because when you design traps or things for people to fail, people like that with that kind of confidence that comes from where you come from, they use that as fuel. I do it. Okay, now remember I just told you his brother Shilo entered the NFL draft, but not as an undrafted free agent. Well, anyway, before his brother did that, he saw what happened to his brother, and he fired his father, Deion Sanders, well, I'll say allegedly, and signed with powerhouse agent Drew Rosenhaus, who helped him secure the free agent deal. Now, before Shedeur got drafted to the Browns, he received a prank call, which I thought was so disrespectful. And the way they played him like that for the whole world to watch was crazy. They called him faking, acting like they were from an NFL team, pretending to sign him. And, of course, it was caught on video. Take a look.
Say that one more time for me.
This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man.
No, for sure.
We're going to take you with our next pick right here, man.
Yeah. Yes, sir. Let's be legendary.
But you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, man.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Ready to go. What does that mean?
What? What did he say?
I don't know.
How you gonna ask us what it means and you was on the phone?
You heard that?
You said you're gonna have to wait a little bit longer.
Sorry about that.
Why did he call?
What the fuck?
Hey, that's
I don't know what that was. It's 50-50. But nobody got this number though.
Did they just troll, bro?
Okay.
Man, he just got trolled, bro. They tripping now, fam. Now I'm gonna crash out, bro.
That's wild. You know what it is?
Day 3, so now I gotta have my phone on now. So,
But what them numbers y'all call you?
fam, I thought that was a real person that called you, but it actually wasn't, was it?
No, I told you. I was a specific phone number, not in my name, not in anything.
So you bought that phone just for the drive?
Boost Mobile shipped the phone just for the draft.
So how did they get your
Nobody
number?
had the number.
That's what I'm saying.
The number was only in the email thread that the NFL sent out to only teams.
That's outrageous, bro. So the NFL leaked it, basically.
No, you can't say that. It could be one of their kids.
Why did that look like Lotto sitting in the background? But anyway, it wasn't. Hey, Lotto. Well, just as Shedeur predicted, it was the kid of someone in the NFL prank calling him and playing on his phone. Now, we later found out that that was Jax Ulbrich, the 21-year-old son of Atlantic Falcons defensive coordinator and former interim Jets head coach Jeff Ulbrich, and he made the call to Shedeur. Now, here's a video because Jax was dumb enough to do it and post the video. 21-year-old, look.
Hey, is this Shedeur? Hey, this is Mickey Loomis here, the GM of the New Orleans Saints. How you doing? This is Mickey Loomis here, GM of the Saints.
How you doing?
Good, how are you, man?
Good, been waiting on you.
Yeah, we have. It's been a long wait, man. We're going to take you with our next pick right here, man.
This ain't gonna be nothing to you.
Hey, but you're going to have to wait a little bit longer, man. Sorry about that.
So what do you think?
I think it's absurd, and I don't find anything about it funny at all. So I don't know how he could have put himself in a position, one, to film himself doing something that was so stupid, and actually like tarnishing his father's name too. So it was ridiculous.
This is so mean, and I kept seeing the headline of this, and I couldn't bear to watch it. So this is my first time watching it, and I feel so bad. But this is what's wrong with, I feel like, social media, TikTok, pranksters. They just want it for clicks. Like, he recorded, he thought they were all giggling in the background. Like, that is so nasty. And people keep calling him a kid. He's 21 years old, that white
You a
kid.
whole grown-ass man,
Grown.
probably living in your grown-ass daddy's basement.
It looked like a dorm room.
Playing around
right.
on the phone. But here's the issue that I have with it. It's just so easy to emasculate and disrespect black men now in America. And I may be overreaching, and people may say, oh my God, don't tie. People now believe they live in a society where this kind of thing is okay. I don't want to make it a racial thing, but I'm going to make it a racial thing. Just for the whole context of all. Because as a black man, I'm telling you that while Brett Favre may have had that experience where he wasn't drafted in the first round, or while, you know, Tom Brady wasn't drafted in the first round, that's not what I think is happening here. I still stay very firm in the fact that I think this was buck breaking. And to be able to see it happening, see it trending, then participate in it by not only making the prank call, using your daddy's access to a private phone number, but then promoting it on your own social for the world to see, was just to continue to show people that we can all collectively play in the little boy. And what you did do was you literally turned everybody against what was happening, because you pulled the veil off of the bullshit. Because then we all saw it. Now, Jax eventually fessed up and apologized. And that's great. That's great. I'm going to show you his apology. Take a look. Jax said, on Friday night, I made a tremendous mistake. Shedeur, what I did was completely inexcusable, embarrassing, and shameful. I'm so sorry I took away from your moment. It was selfish and childish. I could never imagine getting ready to celebrate one of the greatest moments of your life, and I made a terrible mistake and messed with that moment. Thank you for accepting my call earlier. I hope you can find it in your hearts to forgive me. Well, Jax, we ain't forgiving you, and I'm glad that the people didn't forgive you, because the Atlanta Falcons, who also released a statement claiming Jax unintentionally got Shedeur's number to make the call. Here's some claims that they put in their own press release. I'm going to let y'all read it because I'm not reading all that. But this is a statement from the Atlanta Falcons. You can screenshot it and come back. Well, even though they apologized, the NFL said, nah, nope, not on our watch. We're going to fine you. And they fined the Atlanta Falcons $250,000. And Jeff, the father, $100,000 over his son's prank call. Now, you know this is sad when the daddy of a grown man gets fined, because, you know, this is what they do when your kids are underage. But they treated him like an underage little boy who messed around and got his daddy in some trouble.
Even though this is a step for justice, I feel like that fine just goes back to NFL stuff. It should go straight to him, to Shedeur.
The NFL said that they ain't doing that. Okay, they said Jeff failed to protect confidential NFL draft information, and after the fines came through, Jeff apologized to him and his son. Take a look at Daddy's apology.
First of all, I'd like to publicly apologize to Shedeur and the Sanders family for what occurred. Second of all, I want to publicly apologize to Mr. Blaine Terry Fontenot, Raheem Morris, and the entire Falcons organization. My actions of not protecting confidential data were inexcusable. My son's actions were absolutely inexcusable. And for that, we are both deeply sorry. The NFL has taken action, and I fully respect the punishment. We take full responsibility, my son and myself, and we will not be appealing the fine in any way. Going forward, I promise my son and I will work hard to demonstrate we are better than this. Again, I'm deeply sorry for our actions.
Jeff, I'm sure you've had a successful run at your career. I'm sure you've done a lot of amazing things, but you look like the type that sit around with some beers thinking that this kind of stuff is funny. But now you got caught up, and $350,000 later, you now have a big bill to pay. And it's really sad, because if you really think about it, to be a young Black man, whether you grew up with money with your father or not, to grow up with a dream and then to have your dreams played with like this in front of the world to watch is embarrassing. But I'm glad, and I'll take it all the way back to the beginning, I'm glad that Deion built such a level of confidence in his son that you call cockiness or arrogance, that he was able to survive that. Because that kind of online bullying that leads to people being distressed leads to people killing themselves. We don't know what could have happened if he wouldn't have gotten selected. He could have not have been able to handle it. Now his dreams are gone, and now you played, and now he's an embarrassment. That could have led to something really disastrous that we all be here saying, oh, we're so sorry that this happened. So I'm wondering if $350,000 later, are you sorry? After you've seen the feedback, now the show talking about you, are you sorry? I want to know what it's going to take for people to have a little bit more compassion. Look, before the show, we were having a conversation about, how fed up we get sometimes being kind to people, when people that even the people you're kind to turn around and treat you crazy or talk crazy behind your back or violate you in a way that this guy violated Shedeur. I'm glad that Shedeur got selected. Shedeur, I wish you the best of luck in your career. Shilo, you too. It's good to see positive stories, positive outcomes. Deion, you did a great job. You are a little bit much at times, but so am I. So, congrats to you and Pilar on raising two good-looking, successful young men. Any last words on this?
This is sad. But I feel like Google is also the biggest, consequence, because the same way people are going to love Shedeur more for Googling him, they're going to Google this stupid kid and be like, ew, he's a bully, ew, he's mean.
He's not even a kid. That's a grown ass man.
Sorry, man.
Yeah.
But I don't feel like the dad knew, because I don't know. I can't say because I don't know, but if that was my kid, I would beat the brakes
He's
off
not
of
a
my
kid.
I mean,
what I'm saying
if that was my child.
That's his child. First of all, how did your child get access to the confidential information?
And that's why I hate the fact that they keep saying it was unintentional, that he came across it. Stop giving an excuse for us to feel some level of pity for this man who made this ridiculous choice. I feel none.
Yep. Sad.
It's too bad. Anyway, congrats, guys. Good luck. All right.